It's been some grassroots community organizing, but it's hard to get the message out to people because the media has made it almost impossible for them to understand the gravity of the situation. And one of the biggest problems, especially here on the Baldwin County side, is people are apathetic. They don't realize that what affects the people in the Africatown community or Mobile, as a whole, is going to affect them. They don't see how it translates to Baldwin County, and the problem with that is we actually have some communities in Baldwin County that get their drinking water from the same watershed that Plains South Cap just put a pipeline through. And when that pipeline goes, 250 plus thousand people are going to be without approved clean source of drinking water. And Mobile Bay touches Baldwin County shores. So what affects Mobile Bay with the tank farm expansion should a hurricane come in and cause a problem will affect us just as badly. And I can't help but think on something that David just said. I'm reminded of a proverb: we didn't inherit the earth, we borrow it from our children. And that's kind of the way I see it. I'm here to try and do my best to leave a better place leave the place better than I found it.
And we've had,
I think since the BP disaster, we have been bombarded in the lower Alabama area with not just the after effects of the oil disaster, which we're not even beginning to recover from, but we've also been now bombarded with the pipelines. We've been bombarded with tar sands importation by rail, also a new coal terminal, and expansion of tank farms, all on top of the aftermath of the BP situation. And it's almost like our elected officials have just given up, and they've just wanting to turn us into almost like Houston East and have our waterfront look like that. And for over here in Baldwin County, as Michelle was saying, it does impact us. We all touch one another. What happens off the coast of Louisiana affects Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, and there's no way out of it. It's going to happen. And I think that we really have to look at the policy of what our government officials are doing and the way they're doing it. And they don't listen to us. And so part of why we're here today is trying to strategize on different ways of getting them to listen to us and getting them to change policy. In this country, we really don't have an energy policy. It's kind of all of the above. And we need to start teasing that out and begin to transition onto wind and solar and wave energy. I mean, wave energy down here would be fantastic because it's always there. And it just seems that the powers that be don't want to take a look at those things at all.
we've had great success in organizing locally. At a Sierra Club meeting several months ago, one guy got up and said he had never seen a Sierra Club meeting with hundreds of people at it, let alone in Mobile, Alabama. And the president of the county commission got up at that meeting and publicly thanked the Sierra Club. I never thought I'd hear this. Publicly thanked the Sierra Club for bringing some of these pipeline issues to their attention. They were a threat to the watershed. She claimed they didn't know until we told them.
What are they doing about it?
And yes, exactly. And that county commission and city councils and other bodies passed resolutions that we placed before them opposing these pipelines through the watershed and opposing the expansion of the tank farms on the waterfront. And it's easy to make the argument because the idea of putting a high-pressure, high-volume crude oil pipeline through the watershed of your drinking supply is crazy, but they're about to do it. And putting tank farms holding many times the Exxon Valdez on the waterfront in a hurricane flood zone is crazy, but they're going to do it. Same with the big coal terminal. Thousands of people have signed petitions against these things, presented them to the local bodies who said, oh yeah, we agree with you, this is terrible, we're going to take a stand against it, but they don't do anything effective. And the answer from the defensive answer from them always is that we have to pay attention to bigger powers elsewhere that can take away our money for maintaining the ship channel in the port unless we keep a large cargo volume coming and increase the cargo volume. So we have to surrender your local wishes to those national priorities. The oil companies and their backers want to turn Mobile into a major handling facility for tar sands and other crude products. And we have to do this or we'll get a reputation for being unfriendly to business, and we will suffer economically across the board if we get that reputation. Therefore, we must let them do what we want. Locally, no matter how effective we are in resisting these things, if we don't have effective alliances with people elsewhere to counter those larger arguments, then we will lose.